A WRAL weather alert day for our Sunday with widespread rain across the state. 1 to 2 inches of rain possible for eastern portions of the state. We'll time out the rain with Futurecast.
A man wanted in a deadly Moore County shooting, arrested more than 500 miles away from the scene, where investigators finally found him. And dentist fraud. A woman charged with providing dental services in Raleigh without a license. We hear from a patient fighting to get her money back.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
A lot to get to tonight, but we have got to start right here. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I am Eric Miller. The system on the radar here set to bring a 100% chance of rain to our area tomorrow. There's a chance of some localized flooding, and that's why tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. Grants, the rain coming in very much needed, but much of our area has been in a drought for weeks.
That's right. We need this rain across the area. We're going to see widespread rain tomorrow. That's why we have a WRAL weather alert day in place. And that weather alert day is not only just for the widespread rain, but also the possibility for some localized flooding. I think it'll be a lot more isolated than other events that we've had. But again, we could see some areas with ponding on the roads, especially with all the rain that we get tomorrow. Here's a view from North Hills. You can see a beautiful sunset there, but clouds are slowly working their way into the area as the system slowly makes its way closer to the region. So by 7 o'clock this evening, temperatures in the low 50s for your Valentine's dinner. By later this evening, mid to upper 40s, and we'll see the clouds slowly increase across the region. Here's the hour-by-hour precip chances for tomorrow. Of course, tracking rain across the area in the morning hours. It'll be more isolated and it will be light. But then as we get closer to the afternoon and evening hours after lunchtime, we'll see more widespread rain. That rain chance goes up to 100% from 3 o'clock all the way through 7 p.m. Then the rain chances will slowly drop off into our Monday morning. We'll talk more about the timing of this rain with Futurecast and how much we could see coming up in just a bit.
Grant, thank you very much. On now to that double homicide case out of Moore County. A man and a woman are dead after investigators there say they were shot inside a home in Vass, and another man is in custody in Ohio, more than 400 miles away. WRAL's Megan Cloherty is live in the Woodlake neighborhood. Megan, investigators say there were children in this home at the time. What have we learned?
Eric, that's what we're hearing. Investigators say a 28-year-old man and a 21-year-old woman were shot and killed at this house right here behind me in the neighborhood this morning. And we understand from neighbors that the couple who lives here is actually out of town, and someone was watching their children here at the time of the shooting. Let's give you a look at who investigators say is responsible. Their suspect is a man named Caleb Hayden Forsnog. He's facing murder charges. And as you mentioned, he was taken into custody in Ohio this afternoon. Investigators are not sharing the names of either person who was killed because they are still trying to reach family members. All you can see at the home here is in this quiet gated community in Vass is a red sports car and a gray pickup truck with Oklahoma tags parked in the driveway. We understand there were at least 2 children here at the time, including a 6-year-old boy. They are now with family in Carthage until their parents return from out of town. Major Eric Galloway with Moore County Sheriff's Office says they worked closely with investigators in Ohio to track down Forsnog, who they say hit the highway driving toward his hometown after the shooting at 7:45 this morning. We got a statement from the Sheriff's Office that says, in part, this is a tragic and senseless loss of life, and our hearts go out to the families of the victims during this difficult time. Now, Moore County Sheriff's investigators have cleared this scene. About an hour ago, they took down the yellow investigative tape that was kind of wrapped around and blocking the street. But we are working to learn more about what happened here this morning, and we'll bring it to you when we have it. Reporting in Voss, Megan Cloherty, WRAL News.
Megan, thank you. 3 people are dead after a 2-vehicle crash in Harnett County overnight. The State Highway Patrol tells us this happened on NC 87 near Olivia Road around 3:30 this morning. Troopers say a southbound Toyota Camry with 3 people inside crossed the center line and hit a Chevy truck head on. Both drivers were killed. A person in the back seat of that Toyota was also killed. The front seat passenger in the same car was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Troopers identified 28-year-old William T. Underwood as the driver of the Chevy. They're still working to notify other victims' families at this time. A major update in a case we've been following for months. A woman has been arrested and charged with providing dental services without a license in Raleigh. It comes after WRAL talked with several people who say they paid thousands for care before the business abruptly closed. WRAL's Flynn Snyder spoke with one patient who says she's still fighting to get her money back.
They're charges that patients say do not give them a reason to smile.
It's been stressful for me.
Shayla Gist's teen son got braces at the Smiling Face Company in Raleigh. Now the listed owner of that business, Ebony McBean, has been arrested and charged with providing dental care without a license. Warrants say Gist paid McBean $4,000 for her son's braces. We first talked with Gist in November.
All this was money that I really didn't have to just give away without getting what I paid for.
Since then, she says there have been physical and financial struggles.
The last 3 months, my son has been having pain. Now it's going to cost me another $3,100 to continue treatment.
In November, WRAL first reported about the business abruptly closing its doors in North Raleigh. After the arrest, we tried calling McBean. We even went to an address listed for her, but we were unable to get in contact. Our most recent report on the complaints aired November 7th. Court records show an arrest warrant was issued just days later on November 12th. Then Friday, McBean was arrested. Warrants also say McBean told patients she was working with a licensed orthodontist named Dr. Ramsey. The documents go on to say McBean was not affiliated with Ramsey in any way. WRAL previously reported that Dr. Darren Ramsey was the listed provider on company invoices. Ramsey did not immediately respond to our request for comment. Now, Gist is left wondering what's next. Where does this arrest leave you as far as getting your money back?
$4,000 is maybe, nothing to some people, but that's a lot of money. And, I just want her to see what she has caused.
Patients left wanting not only their money, but accountability. Flynn Snyder, WRAL News, Raleigh.
And court records show McBean was released on a $3,000 bond. She's expected in court on Monday. We've asked Raleigh police why it took 3 months to make an arrest here. So far, we're still waiting to hear back. A number of crews were battling a fire in Durham County earlier today. That fire appears to have broken out on some sort of building in a neighborhood on Quail Roost Road in the Bahama area. A viewer sent us this drone video. You can see one building destroyed, the ground scorched and smoking nearby. The fire is out tonight. We're told no one was hurt. Raleigh police say a man is critically injured after an overnight shooting in downtown. This happened just before 2:30 this morning on East Davie Street at South Blunt Street. There's currently no search for a suspect. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We're working to learn the circumstances and if anyone will be charged for this shooting. Apex police have arrested 2 suspects after a string of car break-ins. Police tell us those break-ins happened around 4 p.m. Thursday at the Beaver Creek crossings. Officers searched the area and found the suspects driving down East William Street. When the suspects refused to stop, they ended up hitting another car, and that driver had to be taken to the hospital with serious injuries. 3 suspects ran off, but officers caught up to 2 of them. Both turned out to be from Norfolk, Virginia, and now face multiple charges. The 3rd suspect still on the run tonight. The 50-mile March for Love and Justice ended with a gathering of thousands at the state capitol on Fayetteville Street in Raleigh.
We shall overcome someday.
The march from Wilson and rally at the Capitol were led by well-known civil rights leader William Barber. The group said it's, quote, protesting the relentless policy violence against poor and low-income people.
If you would love to be in a nation that cares about everybody, that believes that empathy is a virtue that we all should have, that looking down on people should only happen when you're looking down to pick them up. It's time to love together.
And to emphasize that theme of loving, the 50-mile march was deliberately planned to end in Raleigh on Valentine's Day. Barber also pointed out that the abolitionist writer and statesman Frederick Douglass chose February 14th as his birthday to celebrate love, despite not knowing his actual birth date, having been born into slavery.
I'm Elizabeth Holmes in the WRAL Live Center. Some big Olympic news. Skier Lindsey Vonn says the recent surgery that she had on her left leg that she broke during the Winter Olympics went well and that she will be able to return home to the United States. She posted this video on Instagram making the announcement earlier today. Now, remember, she crashed just 13 seconds into her run last Sunday and had to be airlifted to the hospital by helicopter. And even before that, she had ruptured her ACL in the same leg. Now, she said in this post that she felt like she was stronger both physically and mentally, but she said, do not feel sad. The ride was worth the fall. Eric?
Elizabeth, thank you. A quick check-in now on the investigation and search for Nancy Guthrie. This is video here taken over Guthrie's house this morning in Tucson, Arizona. A sheriff's deputy was posted outside. More people have brought flowers to the home in support of the Guthrie family. Last night, investigators conducted a traffic stop and executed a search warrant, but neither have led to any arrests. The FBI has doubled the reward for information leading to an arrest or conviction to $100,000. Still ahead, more than a year since Hurricane Helene hit the North Carolina mountains, there's still so much work to do. For many, bridge closures and road rebuilds are still incomplete. It's a problem for getting to and from work and for getting emergency vehicles in and out. 500 days after Hurricane Helene hit the North Carolina mountains, the state's private bridges and roads rebuild program is finally getting ready to start, potentially hundreds of projects. People who live and work in areas hardest hit, of course, depend on bridges like that. Without them, there's often no good way to cross creeks, rivers, and streams. It's a problem not only for getting to and from work, but also for getting emergency vehicles in when they're needed most. At least one man in Burnsville says contractors aren't expected to break ground on his bridge until April.
We actually had meetings with the county guy and a state lady. They've been doing a lot of surveying both sides of the river.
In Buncombe County, there's some progress there. Nearly 1,000 bridge and road requests, 49 are done, 8 currently under construction. Still a very long way to go there. Well, it was all smiles today at the Poe Center's terrific Teeth Day in Raleigh. Families explored the Poe Center's health-themed facility and enjoyed many dental-themed activities, including brushing a giant set of teeth, watching a dental-themed magic show, making tooth fairy pillows, and story time with Emerald, Pine, and the Tooth Fairy. Free dental screenings and select procedures were provided free of charge, courtesy of AmeriHealth Caritas and Baptists on Mission. To help celebrate, Mayor Janet Cowell declared this as Terrific Teeth Day in honor of Children's Dental Health Month. UNC Children's Hospital in Chapel Hill provided us with a wonderful treat for Valentine's Day. Just take a look. These are a few of the adorable NICU babies at the hospital right now, born on Valentine's Day. Nurses with the neonatal intensive care unit help dress the tiny infants in festive outfits with their parents' permission, of course. The costumes and cute photos provide some distraction from being in the NICU for days or even weeks before those babies can head safely home. Also today, Cape Fear Valley Health sent us pictures celebrating their NICU babies. The outfits included tiny heart glasses, tiny bow ties, and of course, a couple of angel wings as well. Now, Grant, I got to say, always puts a smile on your face seeing those guys. I don't know what the costume budget our local hospitals is, but I mean, whatever they've got, it's great.
I know, it's awesome. I woke up this morning and saw those photos on my Facebook. So cute. Love to see all of those. So if you have any more of those festive photos from Valentine's Day, make sure to share them with us. WRAL.com/report it. We love to see all the Valentine's Day festivities and, of course, those great costumes the kids had. Love to see that. A WRAL weather alert day in place for our Sunday. The best chance for rain in the afternoon and evening tomorrow, and then we'll see warmer temperatures into next week after that rain moves out. But the thing I want to focus on here is that rain tomorrow. An area of low pressure moves in. That'll bring widespread rain by the afternoon and a low-end flooding threat as well. This area of low pressure works its way east. It's already back towards Texas right now, and it will slowly make its way in our direction. And you can see how the rain moves in on Futurecast. Let's start with midnight tonight. You can see more widespread cloud cover across the area at this point. And it slowly builds into the region throughout the course of the early morning hours. This is 6 a.m. You can see some scattered light rain moving in and continues to funnel into the area into the afternoon. This is 2 o'clock. Now you can see some pockets of moderate to heavy rain mixed in across the region. precipitation, so becoming more widespread after lunchtime. Then by 7 o'clock, still moderate to heavy rain with some pockets of light rain as well. Light rain still lingering through late in the evening, then finally wrapping up into the morning hours on Monday, and some lingering cloud cover into the morning as well, but that will eventually kind of move its way out of the area. Here's take a look at the precipitation potential across the entire state. You can see those highest amounts towards the coastline, 1 to 2 inches of rain possible across eastern portions of the state. Lower amounts back towards the west. This isn't going to be enough to break our drought, but certainly will be very beneficial across the region to see a good bit of rain. And the flood risk, a level 1 of 4 risk across the entire state, with the exception of a couple of areas. But this is just a low-end threat. Just some isolated flooding will be possible with some of those heavier downpours that we see tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. We could have some areas where we have some ponding, some rain kind of briefly flooding, very isolated, but it's not going to be widespread flooding tomorrow. So a cooler day tomorrow with that rain also in place. We'll actually have a cooler damming pattern back to the north and west. That's going to bring some cooler temperatures back towards the Triad especially. So temperatures may struggle to make it back out of the 40s there. Here we'll likely make it into the 50s, but again, if they have that cold air that sinks a little bit further to the south and east, it could stay cooler throughout the day. So more like 40s and 50s for most spots across the area. Then the 70s return. We're in the 50s both tomorrow and Monday. Then by Tuesday in the 60s, Wednesday and Thursday, we climb to the low to mid 70s and will likely stay warm all the way through Friday. Look at this, 72 on Wednesday, 74 Thursday, 75 Friday. Then by next weekend, the start of next weekend, we'll have a next cold front that will bring a chance for some rain. Looks pretty isolated right now, but we'll keep a close eye on that rain chance for next weekend. For now, though, it's not as cold overnight with increasing clouds. Then we'll have cooler temperatures tomorrow with that widespread rain. It's going to be beneficial rain, the majority of it coming during the back half of the day. Looking forward to getting a little bit of relief from the drought conditions we've had.
I can't even believe my eyes seeing 70s on that board.
Yes.
Grant, thank you. All right, a lot of UNC fans out there still trying to ride that high from that win over Duke, Pat, and man, they've needed those feelings to carry them through the last week because it's been a little rough.
Yeah, it's been kind of a steady low here since, but coming up next, I'll tell you how UNC overcame the loss of not one, but 2 big men and their 2 leading scorers after the break. Man, that UNC Duke game feels like, what, a year ago now, especially for UNC. I mean, first they lose to Miami, then they lose Caleb Wilson with a broken hand, and the adversity was not done there. Henry Vasar out as well, dealing with the flu since Miami and a lower body injury. Carolina hosting Pitt, typically a trap game for them, but not in this one. Derek Dixon to Jaren Stevenson. Stevenson had a game-high 19 points. Zayden High ready for the moment as well. Said Pitt usually punks them. Worked a lot with the first team this week, and it showed. Career-high 15 points for him. UNC led by as many as 22 in this one. Interior defense starting to slack in the final minutes. Too easy there for Roman Siulepa, but Hubert Davis called this some of their best sustained energy all season. Luka Bogovac, one of 4 players in double digits. UNC wins 79-65.
I feel like it shows that we do have a lot of depth on the team, and a lot of different people can step up and make plays. A lot of people very care about this program and want it to do well, so a lot of different people stepped up. I've been seeing them put in the work, behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised they stepped up, and I'm glad they were able to showcase their talent.
I was a little nervous, but I was just excited because I just kept my head down this whole season. Unfortunately, we got Henry and Caleb out, so next man up, and I just went out there and was myself.
Now, the good news on Caleb Wilson is that Hubert Davis says he's doing absolutely as much as he possibly can in practice, albeit one-handed. He's shooting, he's dribbling, and he's riding the bike. Meanwhile, over in Durham, the Blue Devils have bounced back nicely since their loss to UNC. They picked up their 8th ranked win of the season today, most in the country. Cooper Flagg, Tyrese Proctor, and Kamon Malawach feeling the love. NBA All-Star break for them. First half, I imagine Cameron Boozer will make a similar trip here next season. Steal and the flush for the big man. But Clemson right there with Duke in the first half. RJ Godfrey gets behind the defense for the slam. Hot half of shooting for Isaiah Evans gives Duke some cushion. 31-26 at the break. Evans, more than just a three-point shooter this season, the drive, the step back, he had 17. And speaking of development, Caden Boozer, 12 points off the bench as Duke handles number 20 Clemson 67-54. Their defense, the difference.
I thought our defense was great tonight. They scored, 54? They got a lot of those last minute, too, so I think that definitely carried us the whole way. They're a great team, second in our league, so we saw this as a championship game coming into tonight, and we played with that kind of energy.
They were killing us in the paint. The big guys were eating in the post in the first half. I feel like we cut that off in the second half, and then that's what made us be able to, stretch the lead out.
Now let's check out the NC State highlights quickly. Now these are a look at the first half. This game actually just went final, so I'll summarize it for you here. Tough loss. Hosted Miami, they had a 76-69 lead with a minute to go, but then True Washington drew a foul for Miami in the final seconds. Miami beats NC State 77-76. So tough loss for NC State there. We'll get a proper highlight for you coming up tonight at 10 and 11. And NC State, not long to dwell on this one because they host UNC on Tuesday.
Whew. Pat, a great week ahead. We'll look forward to those highlights coming up tonight. Thank you. And thank you for joining us here this evening. Have a great evening, everybody. See you right back here tomorrow.